Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. It's a Friday. Got a great weekend planned and try to get through this weather today and everything will be in good shape. Our weather course brought to us by Haney Technical Center at Baldwin Road and Highway 77, run by the Principal Mike Eppenstall, and the whole staff there got all kind of different programs they can offer you. Right now we got 90% chance of rain today, but tomorrow looks really good and Sunday looks really good for just a great weekend. High today will be 77, low tonight 51, so it's going to cool. It'll be a little bit cooler tonight than it has been. Water temperature stays at 70 degrees, has been that way all week long, and we can see the results on all the fish we've been catching. Let's take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola at Bluntstown. A lot of river fishermen are going out tomorrow. It's dropped down below 10 now. It's at a 9.6 this morning. It's going to be dropping all day today and a little bit tomorrow, but it's a slow, steady drop. The kind of drop you like to have when it's falling out on you. But now Choctahatchee got a pretty steep drop to it. It's reading 10.3 as we speak, but it's dropping out pretty rapidly, and by Saturday night it's going to be getting close to a 7.5, so got a pretty fast drop right there. Now let's take a look at our tide chart. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home. And looking on today now, it's the third. We're on the third Friday. It's the 19th of April, and we got a really good tide situation today. We have the low tide was this morning at 150, and then the high tide is coming in at 353 this afternoon. And so you got a really good strong incoming tide that's going to be dropping off really fast. And look at tomorrow's tide. You're going to have an incoming tide tomorrow morning if you like to fish a weekend tide. Okay? Now, just got off the phone with Sea Quarters Marina, talked to them down there. They have a group of folks from Kentucky, and they said they've been there all week, and they've had a great week on catching a bunch of grouper and then redfish, and even went up Carabel River yesterday and caught some shell crackers. So I guess that's a good way to come down from Kentucky and take a good week of fishing. So fish are biting down in Carabel. So we'll talk more about that when we get our famous Friday fishing report. Let's take this break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Glad you're with us, and welcome, Brad.
Good morning, Coach.
Brad's always coming on about the third Friday of the month, and always got some exciting stuff. And I mean, you got a table full of stuff today, Brad.
And then I was just sitting here throwing my hands up in the air. I left one of my bags at the shop, so.
Well, what's been going on over in your end?
Just all the locals the tourists are gone. I don't think there's there's not anybody from the 850 not on the beach right now hardly, except for Mr. Intern. But we're taking care of that.
He's not going to be here much longer.
No, we'll take care of that next week. But so the locals are starting to come back out. Freshwater fishing's getting good. We're just selling, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cricket every day. Sounds like more than it is. People buy them hundreds at a time. So, freshwater fishing's picked up. We don't get a lot of those reports back. Those people fish on like 2 to 3 week cycles. Mm-hmm. So we always have old news coming through the store on that. But, we do have all your freshwater baits, and, they're heading north. So I don't know if they're going to Pine Log, the Choctahatchee. Mm-hmm. Some people I think are going over to Deer Point. But, freshwater fishing's kind of been a handful of people's focus. And then everybody else is looking for cobia and pompano fishing. Bay fishing's absolutely on fire right now, but everybody's hung up on pompano and surf fishing that, you can pretty much have the bait yourself. Yeah,
you're right, absolutely right. So if we're out there this week and the bugs start biting, so what we're going to do?
We're going to go out and get us some cactus juice. I'm sure there's other places that have this in town, but we got a lot of people requesting this product brought back in. They have a spray, and they also have, a cream gel. The gel has an SPF built into it. It's an all-natural. They say you can drink this stuff. I don't recommend drinking it. But it's bug spray that actually works. We tell everybody it's got about a 95% chance it's going to work and work really well. We had one guy come in and just want to buy like a whole case of it. I was like, just buy a bottle. He lived in Colony Club. I said, buy a bottle. Mm-hmm. Make sure it works on you and your family. Everybody's chemical makeup's a little different on their bodies. Mm-hmm. So it's how your body reacts to this, on how it keeps the bugs away. There's some engineer. I'll give you a number if you really want to know about it. But it works really well, and I've been using it for a couple years. They've been using it on St. George Island for years. If they can keep the bugs off them on St. George Island, it'll keep the bugs off about everywhere. It's West Bay approved. So,
okay.
So come in and take a look at it. Another product everybody kept asking for, I think I brought this on last time I had it, was the Finn's Wind Tamer. We get a lot of people that are just floored away that we have the Wind Tamer series line from fins in stock. I guess it's a really hard line to find.
Yeah.
But it's a good line. I've not thrown it yet, but a lot of people are really, really happy about this line. It's not new by any means.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize anybody around town wasn't carrying it, so we called Fins and we picked it up.
Okay.
Oh, let's see what else we got. If you're going to go inshore fishing anytime now in the next 12 months, so that means you, Trigger X baits, they're basically identical to a gulp. And, they got a crab here. I know it's hard to see, a paddle tail. Then they also have, a jerk shad, or for you freshwater fishermen, a fluke. These are, they're the same price as gulp, but you get more baits. So in my mind, that means they're cheaper than gulp. Well, we got a massive deal on them last time we brought them in from our supplier. So we got these that are normally $7 a bag for $4.13.
That's a good buy.
So don't keep thinking we got that kind of markup and everything. We're trying to get rid of some of these things. I'll be honest with you. But honestly, we got a great deal. We bought a distributor out of everything they had, and to pair with those are these H&H TKO popping corks. They come in a variety of size corks. They come with a little DOA knockoff shrimp. That is not a DOA shrimp on here. It's definitely a knockoff, but it's a pretty good shrimp. And these are titanium wire popping corks. Everybody's thrown a Cajun Thunder. I think about everybody has. You get a couple really good fish on a Cajun Thunder when that fish starts to rip through the water. This ball is floating, causing resistance. That wire bends. Then you spend a few minutes trying to straighten that wire back out. This titanium wire won't do it, and it makes a slightly different ping in the water. I don't know what it is.
I'm telling you, a lot of people are catching fish like that on the cork right now.
A lot of people, they called, what does Georgia say at How Tackle? An NTR rig, no talent required. You just slang it and bring it. And that little cheesy pun line's courtesy of Georgia at How Tackle. And these are also on sale for $4.13. We're really pairing these with our, whatever these things are called, Trigger X baits.
Trigger.
And, so $4.13, I don't know why I came up with that weird number. I just pulled it out of the hat, to be honest with you. And, that'll get you rolling and get you fishing.
Well, you must be letting the little girls do your pricing for you.
Absolutely.
That's a good number there.
Absolutely. We'll let Lily Grace run around the store with the price. Although she likes long numbers on the ticket, so maybe that would be a really good idea.
We're going to talk on the fishing report later on what's hot, but we are going to mention right now, because John was on the pier yesterday, about how hot the pompano fishing's been. And you got some pompanos? Stuff?
We have, we got some of Frank Carpenter's jigs in the shop. The majority of them, to be honest with you, they're Connor jigs. Connor out of Orange Beach tied a bunch of them for us. They're normally, like hand-tied pompano jig. Everybody else $3.99 a piece. We're doing 4 for $12. That's like $3 a piece.
Good deal.
And these are really good, high-quality jigs. And, I have hundreds of them, so just come in, you got hundreds of them. Well, most people buy, 6, 8, 10 at a time. There's nothing worse than being on the pier, pompano fish, and then you get cut off 4 or 5 times in a row by Spanish. I know the Spanish aren't in super thick right now on the pier, so that's not a big problem. Intern shaking his head. He hadn't seen really thick yet. They're here, so the Spanish fishing are there, but, what I mean when they're super thick is when you're in there in the pompano hole and you can barely get a bait in, is the Spanish are just swimming around their mouth open, cutting it.
Yep.
One of my favorite baits to throw is the Silly Willy pompano jig. These are basically, a dock scoofy jig. These are Captain Joe's products. We sell, you can't see them in the bags at all. We sell, hundreds of these jigs a year. It's not your traditional hand-tied pompano jig. Basically a banana jig with a little teaser tied on top of it. And you just toss it and just pop it along on the bottom. What I do like about this jig is when those Spanish do roll in, you can reel faster, jig harder, and get this jig up in the water column, and they just absolutely annihilate the Spanish mackerel.
All right. That sounds good. Let's take this break, and we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Sitting with Brad Stevens from Sunjammer, one of our great sponsors. Always great to have him on the show. I want to give a big congratulations to one of our local boys, Bo Rivard, is now on the FWC commission. I've known Bo since he was a little boy, so we're going to get Bo on the show pretty soon, but he's on the FWC staff. And speaking of FWC staff, snapper season. Good news on the snapper season.
Yay!
Okay, we have a 44-day snapper season. We start June the 1st, and we are so excited about it. I already have a big trip June the 1st planned. I'm going out. We're going We're going to catch them as big as this table right here, I know. Let's go ahead and start lining up your snapper trips.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. So anyway, you had some more tackle. Speaking of tackle and all, you're going to talk about some more stuff.
Yeah, there's no way these will show up on TV. It's called a tactical angler power clip. It is a reinvention of kind of like the snap swivel. But you don't have to snap it. It kind of, your lure pops in and out on it, and they've designed it in a way that it really doesn't affect inshore jigs as much. I was like, yeah, I'm not crazy. I've never like snap swivels or swivels, period. I've just always done line to line and line to lure. A lot of local anglers are starting to fish these things, and we're shipping these all over the country. It's one reason I brought them in. I had a national request for them to be able to buy them online with our online tackle selection. So I brought them in mainly as just a ship out item. Well, I put them on the shelf locally. I figured if they're in the stock room, might as well. People are starting to pick them up. They're really good, and they have them bigger for bottom fishing. Especially if you fish offshore vertical jigging or something where you're always changing your jigs out, you're always cutting that fluorocarbon leader. Well, with this, you can just snap it on and off without having. You just got to come in and look at it. It's an ingenious way of putting it on.
That's good.
And stinky finger baits, literally we brought these on your show when they came out with their jerk shads. I sold out the next day. Well,
that's good. Thank you, folks.
Yeah, thank y'all. We did tracking of their new shrimp. I should have them today, 10:30, 11 o'clock, whenever the UPS man shows up. I think I have 7 or 8 colors of their scented shrimp coming in. And I've seen prototypes of it. I've seen pictures of it. I can't wait to actually see the actual shrimp. They say it's phenomenal action in the water. The scent actually releases better than it does on these jerk shads. So it's just stinky finger shrimp. Be in the shop by lunchtime today, as long as the UPS man shows up.
John, you run there and get us some of those, okay?
John's been in almost every day asking for them.
Yeah, John.
Along with about 100 other people.
Okay, good deal. All right. Now you also got a clinic next week at your shop.
Next Saturday, the 27th, Captain Joe Hebert from Fish on Lures is going to be up. Kind of an informal, formal fishing seminar. We're just going to do it outside in the yard. We're telling everybody, if you don't like the sun, bring an umbrella. We are going to have a tent, but just not a big one. And if you don't like standing, bring a chair. If you get really thirsty, bring a drink.
Okay.
It's kind of a no frills, no thrills. It's a free clinic. It's going to be outside. Starting, 9, 10 o'clock. If you go to our Facebook page, we got a schedule posted on there as long as it's an event. Or you can call the shop. We have information. But that's next, not tomorrow, but the following Saturday, the 27th.
And I'll try to remind people next week if you shoot me an email.
I'll remind you. Don't worry.
All right, now listen. Let's get our fishing times for today because we got to get to our fishing forecast. So let's go ahead and get our fishing times today. Brought to us by Mark Cowart, Edgewater Beach Realty, 832-6000. Any real estate needs from Carabel to Destin. Give Mark a call and tell him you want to go fishing with him too. Right, John? All right, our times today, 7:40 to 9:40. Okay, excellent time today, 7:40 to 9:40. You may have a dodge of rain, but maybe this afternoon by 8:02 to 10:02. Some late evening fishing, 8:02 to 10:02. All right. Now, Brad, every time you come on here, we get to do a drawing.
Yeah.
Tarpon Dock, and we get some of the nicest feedback from folks that. A lot of these folks that hadn't been to Tarpon Dock Seafood and get in there. I got a nice email. I don't have time to read it today, but I'll read it next week. So, first one now will be a $20 gift certificate to Tarpon Dock Seafood. And our lucky winner is Jimmy Dutton. All right, $20, and today's April 19th. Jimmy Dutton. All right, Jimmy. All right, now, let's get a big red snapper.
Red snapper.
Yes, sir. Big red snapper.
Let's pull this one up top. They always get gypped.
Rebecca Mellison from Lynn Haven. So Jimmy and Rebecca, girl and boy here. I got a big red snapper. All right. All right. That's going to take care of this section. We're going to come back. We're going to set up now while we have this little break here. We're going to set up our famous Friday fishing forecast. We've got all kind of exciting news on the waterfront. So let's go ahead and take this break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. Glad you're with us. We'll get started here on our famous Friday fishing forecast. And Brad, I know you get I get a lot of feedback, but you also get a lot of feedback in your store. So in general, what are some folks saying?
In general, the fishing's the best. People have seen it in a long, long time. Inshore, offshore, it doesn't matter. A lot of kayakers have been bottom fishing out on the west end of the beach, catch and release snappers, still legal. Mm-hmm. They're just out there waxing the red snapper. I mean, they're massive red snappers. So they kind of got them pinned up, out there on the west end of the beach.
What about, okay, let's talk over in the west end real quick, over in Choctaw Bay and the Intercoastal Waterway. I know they've been catching some drum and all at one time.
Yeah, and I'm sure on all the bridges, they're catching redfish at night. The drum, sheep's head bites probably slowing down, but still hot. I honestly, everybody always asks, what's happening in the Choctahhatchee? I said, well, they're probably launching and then burning the ditch, getting back to West Bay.
Okay, so what they're doing, they're launching right here, folks, and then they're coming all the way down the canal into West Bay, right?
Yep. We've had people say, hey, we just ran from Choctahhatchee. Can you bring us some live bait? We're underneath the bridge tied up.
Oh, will you do that?
No, we won't do it now. If we're busy, absolutely, we'll run it up there, but typically, no.
Okay.
We're just honest. We can't.
That might be a new market. Deliver the shrimp to the boat landing, okay?
It might be. It might be.
Okay. Let's go ahead and, while we're on West Bay and all, I was telling Brad, a lot of my students are getting out now, especially seniors. They don't have a job after school. They're fishing like every day, so I'm getting a really good pulse on what's going on. And there have been a couple of nice schools of redfish. Bay fishing has been really good. Mm-hmm. Have you heard that?
It's unbelievable how good bay fishing's been. It wasn't a great fishery through the winter, and the fish are starting to school up. The trout are getting out on the flats, and everybody's like, which point is it? This point, this point, this point, this. It doesn't matter. It's just literally anywhere in West Bay, any flat. If you work it long enough, you're gonna find fish, and you got to pay your dues. Pay your due diligence. You got to learn what to look for and all that kind of stuff, and it'll make you a better fisherman instead of somebody pointing you go here and catch fish.
Yeah.
A general area. Then you learn how to locate those fish. Doesn't matter what body of water you go to. The same tactics basically apply.
That's exactly right. And a lot of the fish, if you remember the pictures I've been showing this week, those redfish, the color it's a really pretty copper reddish color. They really look healthy. And I got some pictures of some nice over here in North Bay, some nice North Bay trout. Some boys went out a couple times this week in North Bay trout. And dock fishing has been excellent for redfish in North Bay. The dock fishing around right up in this area, right in here. These docks all up in here have been really good. And like you say, West Bay Point has been excellent right there. And then down this way too, in both places there. Pretty Bayou has been really good for redfish. Spanish, okay? Spanish have been really they've been off and on, and like I say, the big school's not here yet. I know John, we took that trip with our students called 169, but then we went Saturday with a couple of people. It was slow this past Saturday. Then I heard Sunday, I heard a bunch of people caught them.
Yep.
So what are you hearing?
Same thing, they're here, they aren't, they're coming in, and it's not in a set time of day. It's just those schools. They're just running around, and when they're there, they're on fire. But typically, it's all the locals know when the Spanish get here, it's not they're here and they're not here. The bite's red hot or the bite's hot. It's not on or off.
That's right, yeah. And I want to tell you exactly what happened Saturday. I fished with an outstanding fisherman, and we fished all the hot spots, back here, this side here, over here, all these hot spots here, down by your house. We came up in here. We actually went down in here, and we just didn't have a very good day. I went back Monday and talked to one of my fellow teachers, and she and her husband had ran into them about a mile right down in here. I mean, they loaded up. So actually, we were close, but we were not on them. And that's where they were Saturday afternoon, about 2 o'clock. And that tells you something. You just have to keep looking around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just keep hunting them. They're there.
Mexico Beach. Mexico Beach has been good. The Spanish have finally shown up on the buoy line at Mexico Beach. Finally, we're getting a little bit of reports. But like I said, I showed Tony Bass and his wife were trolling right in this area right here. They were trolling for Spanish, and if you saw the picture yesterday, they caught a big old redfish while they're trolling. So they were excited about that. The fishing's been really good down in this area. Talked to Blair Morgan yesterday. Captain Morgan was saying what they're doing down that way has been really good. Let me see, they have a pompano. It was excellent about a week ago. It was excellent down at St. George Island. And it came across here, St. George Island, put St. George Island right here. And what's happened now, okay, they're right off there, St. George Island, and they've skipped across. This week they're also on the Cape, but also we got a really strong, John, when you're talking about how good the pompano bite has been, that's that same school, I'm thinking is a huge school has been migrating through this area, okay? Black's Island has been really hot too. Now also, and John's going to be on the show, we're going to do on Monday's show, we're going to talk about the king. We're catching a few kings back up this way.
Yeah, and a few big kings.
Yeah, John's caught like a 33-pounder and maybe a 35-pounder out of a kayak.
Absolutely, out of a Hobie kayak.
Have any of the other kayakers been having any luck with them?
Yeah, not you know, the kings aren't here yet, so nobody's really looking for it. Tomorrow, our PCKFA actually has a club outing. We're going to lunch at the county pier, I want to say. The county pier, everybody in the background. County pier at 7 o'clock, 7 to 1, I think. Everybody's, you know, it's just there. It's free. It's informal. You know, if you feel comfortable going, we don't know what the surf's going to do. You know, it's supposed to be nasty all this afternoon, so the surf just may be kicked up. It may just turn into a big lie-telling story on the beach with everybody. You know, it's King, so we'll know if they're here. There'll be 15 or 20 kayakers out there. You know, they're catching cobia out of kayak. It's a phenomenal cobia bite this year.
Yeah, it has been great. It's been outstanding. I have a lady teacher. She's a single mom, and she wants to take her little boy fishing this weekend. He loves fishing, and she was asking what, you know, if I was going to. I said if I was going to do that this weekend, I would go out to the state park. I would walk out here to the state park and go where, Brad?
I'd go to the point. They're
Exactly.
catching. It's just anywhere you can hope. Those reds may or may not be in here, and the Spanish may or may not be here. It's just
So if you can park right down here by the kiddie pool, and you walk right down through here, and you line up right here. There'll be a line of fishermen here tomorrow morning, and also I love fishing at point, but also on the backside. So all of this is called deep water point. You don't have to have a boat or anything, but you can get to it, and that'd be some excellent fishing for Spanish.
absolutely.
So also, if you like, sometimes you park here at a parking lot by the boat ramp. Let me get that a little bit closer. You can park there. It's a little bit closer to walk, and it's a little prettier of a walk too. But either way, you can go down there.
And with kids, you could they got to be catching stuff nonstop or they're bored. You can also call the city marina or St. Andrews Marina, and they pretty much know if they're catching Spanish off the marinas. I haven't heard of many people catching Spanish off the marinas yet. Maybe they are, and I just haven't heard it. But when they come in the bay thick, you can fish off the off either one of the marinas and just have a great day.
Okay. Well, Brad, we're going to wrap it up, but as always, I appreciate you coming on. We want all people to understand you just want to get out this weekend and do some outdoor stuff.
Just get outdoors, swing by the shop. We're on Highway 79, just 3 blocks north of Back Beach Road. 90% of y'all know where we are. The other 10%, just call us. We'll talk you on in.
All right. Thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you, folks, for watching the show this week. And today, sometime, you do something good for somebody, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.